Worried about marrying my f31 fiancé, m36, due to his drinking. My fiancé and I are engaged to be married in October of this year. We've been together for 3.5 years and engaged since Christmas 2021. He's always liked drinking and I rarely drink, and when I do maybe a couple times a year it'll only be about 2 drinks. During the first lockdown, UK, he started drinking a lot and hiding the empty bottles in the recycling before I could see them. I eventually cottoned on and he denied it. After the second lockdown, he confirmed he'd been drinking a lot and said I was right and he had been hiding bottles. He promised he would cut down. I left him to it and I thought he'd cut down, but then he just got right back to square one. This same thing has happened once or twice since, and I've been taking more notice as we're engaged and I don't want to marry and have children with an alcoholic. I still to this day don't know how much he was drinking at his worst, but he assures me he's cut down a lot. I realized Monday this week he drank half a bottle of whiskey and then he was a little tipsy last night, and I asked how much he drank: 2 pints at the pub and 4 more beers at home. He said it wasn't great but was better than before. He thinks he doesn't have a problem with alcohol because he can go a day or 2 without it and only drinks on the evening. He's promised to cut down but said it will be a slow process and I have to be patient. I'm unsure what to do and it's really stressing me out when I feel he is still drinking far too much. Any advice much appreciated. Too long did not read. My fiancé drinks a lot but is assuring me he has cut down a lot. I have reservations about marrying someone who might be an alcoholic. I married someone who almost died, ICU for a week, due to alcohol-induced pancreatitis before I met them. They swore they were sober when we met, I never saw them drink, then I found out over 10 years they'd been lying to me and secretly drinking during times of stress. Towards the end of the marriage they'd given up hiding it and refused to seek help, lost their job, became violent, drove drunk. Not all addicts are the same, but please take your time marriage. Don't wind up where I was. Good luck to you, and it's smart to think this through. Edit. Am now divorced and the whole marriage was a foolish expensive mistake. At the very least I'd postpone the wedding until you get on the same page regarding drinking. However, given the fact that he's lied about it and that you can never really trust him about it, I'd be inclined to move on. He does not take his drinking problem seriously, and unless he does, he'll never actually correct the problem. You're engaged to someone in active addiction mode, who isn't getting better on his own, and isn't seeking professional help. You state that you don't want to be married to someone like this. Solutions possible. He needs to seek treatment and do well with his treatment over a long span of time, and be seriously committed to being in treatment forever before you marry. You need to split up. Your fiancé is an alcoholic. That's not necessarily in itself a reason to give up on a person, but it's certainly a good reason to put things on hold. You should not marry him as long as he's still drinking, especially if he continues to deny he has a problem. 5 years ago I almost married an alcoholic. We were 5 months away from the wedding and I was unsure what to do. At multiple points I was like, well, money's been spent and he has other good qualities, and will people be disappointed? I can always get divorced later if it doesn't get better. And many more thoughts like that. And then I realized that if I even had the slightest doubt I shouldn't do it. So I called it off and we parted ways. And to this day I will always say that was most self-respecting decision I ever made. If things don't get better, are you willing to spend the rest of your life this way? That's what you need to think about. Best of luck to you. I can relate to your feelings and they are valid. I was a drunk for many years. I have been sober for 13 years. I wouldn't trust anything drunk me promised. Getting sober was the hardest thing I have ever done. I am proud of myself, but honestly not a day goes by without me wishing I could drink. Anyone who has spent a significant amount of time looking for silly reasons and justifications as to why they aren't an alcoholic, i.e. only drinks after the sun goes down, can go a day or 2 without drinking, lol, etc., to me screams that they are actually an alcoholic. It's not the end of the world if he is, but it will be impossible for him to change if he can't even admit it to himself. Dating is nice, especially long term, because most of the time it shows you who the other person is. If he doesn't want to change or doesn't think he needs to change, he won't. He is telling you exactly who he is and the type of person he is okay with being. Listen to him. Source: am alcoholic. I've never known an alcoholic who's cut down slowly. With alcohol, that's basically a poison in your system. Most alcoholics I have known went cold turkey after having an epiphany about what alcohol was doing to their lives, ruining it. Yes, the come down is horrible and in some cases may need medical attention for alcohol addiction, but the slowly does it method doesn't work too well when you have an addiction. He needs that epiphany. He needs help getting sober, too. Tell him you want to see the process happen quicker, and with some outside professional help. If he doesn't do that, I think you should probably walk.